Hey there, parents! It's Miss Smith here, and I'd like to share with you a little bit about my philosophy of teaching science. My philosophy emerges from my worldview as a Seventh-day Adventist. For me, the story of God and His ultimate plan of salvation is the lens through which all science ideas are understood. My worldview of God as the designer, creator, and sustainer of the heavens and the earth will lead me to help children understand science within the greater context of the God story. The Bible will be the standard by which any other theory, text, or curriculum is measured. My science curriculum will help students understand the following big questions. What is God's intention? How has God's purpose been distorted? How does God help us to respond? And how can we be restored in the image of God? Our faith will be integrated into every lesson. It is my pleasure to help students connect to science in a personal way. It is my responsibility to help them understand science as a dynamic, ever-growing body of knowledge connected to the world. Through connections with their community, environment, and peers, students will experience science as relevant to their lives. Students will be taught several big ideas and be brought into a knowledge of accepted science principles such as life systems, structures and mechanisms, matter and energy, earth and space systems, healthful living, stewardship, and sustainability. On par with the Ontario provincial curriculum, and even more rigorous in areas of stewardship and sustainability and healthful living, these big ideas will be broken down further into a variety of specific expectations. These expectations will be met by teaching science knowledge or science facts through short targeted mini lessons that trigger student discussion, or learning cycles that include hands-on projects, reading and writing based on science texts, guided discussions, and problem solving. Standards will also be met through the teaching of science processes. I believe that the teaching of science procedures and strategies should be emphasized more than science definitions and principles. While there is simply not enough time to teach every science fact and theory to students, there is time enough to teach science procedures and processes that will enable students to make science long after the school year has ended. Therefore, students will learn how to initiate and plan, ask questions, clarify problems, plan procedures, perform and record, follow procedures, access information, record observations and findings, analyze and interpret, organize data, reflect on the effectiveness and actions performed, draw conclusions, and finally communicate, use science vocabulary, write a paper, or make a presentation. During all of this, safety will be a number one concern. During the experimentation process, students will learn to maintain a well-organized and uncluttered workspace. They will follow established safety procedures, identify possible safety concerns, suggest and implement appropriate safety procedures, carefully follow the instructions and example of the teacher, and consistently show care and concern for their safety and the safety of others. Ellen G. White, in her book Education, states, "Every human being created in the image of God is endowed with a power akin to that of the Creator, individuality, the power to think and do." I want my students to leave understanding that there are plenty of opportunities to make mistakes, to grow, to learn, opportunities for hands-on discovery, so that they will feel they are scientists, that they will have a sense of connectedness to science and feel a responsibility for our God-given earth. I believe my students will have fun with science. They will spark interests, capture attention, and revel in the beauty of God's creation and human expression.